Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Treason in the air. That is the subject of this evening Talking Points memo. We now know that somebody either leaked or hacked into CIA files that explained how U.S. intelligence is tracking enemies of the nation. WikiLeaks, again, says it's released almost 9,000 documents from the CIA Center for Cyber Intelligence. Wall Street Journal editorial put it this way, quote, "The losses from this exposure are incalculable. These tools represent millions of dollars of investment and man-hours. Many will now be rendered moot as terrorists or foreign agents abandon traceable habits," unquote. So again, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, other killers now know how the USA is tracking them. Therefore, the leaks are a treasonous act. According to the Reuters news agency, the CIA breach happened during the Obama administration. The factor has learned that some of the computer systems used by the CIA are more than 40 years old, easily hacked into, easy targets of theft. We've also been told that bids are out to high-tech companies to upgrade the computer facilities of our intelligence agencies. That'll cost tens of billions of dollars, but is absolutely necessary in this very dangerous world. But no matter how sophisticated the hardware gets, we still have people committing treason inside the government. We reported on that last night. Since taking office, President Trump has been bedeviled by leaks, classified information being fed to the anti-Trump press among them. So now we have a growing catastrophe. Obviously, the CIA and other intelligence agencies cannot protect their secrets. And so far, only a few individuals have been charged with violating national security. In 2013, then Private Bradley Manning was convicted of 6 Espionage Act violations, plus theft and computer fraud, for giving stuff to WikiLeaks. Just before he left office, President Obama commuted Manning's 35-year sentence, allowing him to leave prison on May 17th of this year after 7 years. Many objected to the leniency shown Manning. Talking Points believes that leakers of classified documents are actively committing treason. And it's apparent that the federal government does not have a handle on how to apprehend these traitors, much less stop the espionage. America is the most sophisticated country in the world, but we cannot protect the private conversations of our leader, our intel secrets, and our counterterrorism measures. We can't protect them. Obviously, a dangerous situation. President Trump should order the FBI to aggressively investigate all leaks and hacks, assigning that a top priority. Today, Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee requested a meeting with FBI Director Comey on the hacking and leaks. Mr. Comey should do that as quickly as possible, and it should be televised. Americans need to know if this situation is completely out of control or what. And that's a memo. Now for the top story reaction, joining us from Washington, Bob Woodward, Associate Editor of the Washington Post. So do you disagree with me, Bob?
Well, first of all, it's not treason what the press is doing, because the press gets these things and, as you well know, carefully vets them with the government to see if they're doing something harmful. And normally the press won't print things that's going to get people killed or that blow operations.
All right, let me stop you there. That's the way it used to be. It's not that way anymore because of the internet. All right? You know, one of the big stories of the fall was an internet site putting out this raw, unsubstantiated stuff on Trump that said horrible things about him and some alleged Russian transgressions. So it's not that way anymore. That maybe your newspaper does it, and maybe the Fox News Channel does it, but the internet doesn't do it, and that's where these leaks are going.
Okay, and that's WikiLeaks, and that is in a different category, and I agree with you. That is a real serious problem, and that should be the focus of attention and investigation. Let me ask you, have you ever received, Bill, information that's classified that then you broadcast or talked about in a public forum?
You know, in my career, I don't believe I have. I mean, I've received the information, but I usually find a way to verify it from another source, and sometimes I don't report it if I believe that lives will be endangered. That's why Bradley Manning got 35 years, okay? Because the stuff he gave WikiLeaks was put out, and then all of a sudden, American agents and some military people had to leave where they were because they might be killed.
But this isn't about Bradley Manning. I'm asking about you.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it out there unless I could verify it in another way. I would not violate the national security law. I would not do that.
Okay, but it's impossible to report on foreign affairs or intelligence or what the Pentagon is doing and not deal with classified information.
I don't believe that is. You can get people.
I know that's true.
Look, here's what I have done. I've got people in high levels and put them in shadow. I did an investigation on the Bradley fighting vehicle for ABC News, all right, that the cost overruns were unbelievable, that there was theft all over the place, and that some active military people were profiting. And I put my guys in shadow who gave it to me, that couldn't identify him, voice distorted. I'll do that, but I'm not going to put out somebody, an anonymous source, who tells me something that I can't verify.
Oh, okay, yeah, but all this stuff that we've used in my newspaper about Sessions, about Mike Flynn, has been verified, and it's been presented in a careful way that it does not harm national security.
No, you don't think that your newspaper was used in the taping of the conversation between the Russian ambassador and Flynn? You don't think you were used? Because what happened? Flynn's career went down the drain.
Yeah,
we still don't know. Yeah, we still don't know why this was put out, and we don't know what agency put it out. I think you guys were used.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on. That's BS.
Well, who put it out, Bob?
Well, okay.
Who put it out?
Well, first of all, who fired Flynn? Not the Washington Post, President Trump, because he saw
Flynn
something
wasn't
in
I'm not
this.
saying that Flynn didn't deserve his fate. I'm saying that you don't know who taped that. Do you know who taped that call?
Look, specifically, I don't know, but I know the reporters who did this. Hey, wait a minute. This was done in a very careful way. It was verified. Bob, you're dodging me now.
Come on. Do you, Bob Woodward, know who taped that call? Do you know?
I do not know.
Okay. All right. And you're an honest man, and I believe you. So that opens the possibility that you and your paper were used, okay, by somebody who illegally tapped Flynn because he's an American citizen. It's illegal to do it. It opens that possibility. Surely you know that.
Wait a minute. This isn't about being used. This is about what's true.
But we don't know what's true yet.
Well, certainly we do. Trump has relieved him of duty.
We know that he wasn't honest with the vice president about describing the call, but we don't know what the call was or if it had anything to do with the Trump campaign and the Russians. We don't know that.
No, but we know that it was different than what Flynn had said, and that's what's
therefore
important.
He got what he deserved in the sense that he wasn't
up for you
with Pence.
to make a judgment on, but these are journalistic judgments. Is this news? Can it be presented in a way that does not harm national security?
Let me ask you a question.
That's exactly what happened.
Here's a simple question, okay? And I got to go over with Woodward here. The president's conversations with the Mexican president and the Australian prime minister, okay, were leaked. Were leaked. All right? Do you consider that a legitimate form of reportage?
First of all, you are in error when you think that somehow we passively sit around and wait for leaks.
I didn't say that. I didn't assume that. I asked you a direct question. Those two conversations from a president to two foreign leaders were leaked, all right, by somebody who had access to them. Do you consider that a legitimate reportage?
Because it informed people about what happened. Those were legitimate
it might
stories,
have put the country
and they
in
were
jeopardy.
verified. Oh, come on.
It certainly whipped up anti-American sentiment inside Mexico. It certainly did that.
Well, look, we try to report the news, and the second or third bounce is not something that can be controlled.
Paper. I want you to be clear. I'm not disparaging you or your paper. I want to know who the leakers are, all right? Who they are, and what agencies cannot control these people. And I think you do, too.
Okay. You would be surprised. I have had presidents in Republican and Democratic administrations provide information that is technically classified. I've had very senior people in
they
the
say
Pentagon,
it's off the record,
the
don't print it.
No, it's not. This is what happened. Check it out. This is the way it can be reported and dealt with. And Bill, you know that happens all the time. And the question is here, can it be done in a careful and fair way? And
here's
I believe
the question
it has.
for me. Does it damage the country? That's the question for me. Great debate. We'll continue it. And we love having you on. We love having you on.
Thank you.